welcome back to my channel. It's Kat, and today is the video where I'm going to talk about the actual surgery date. As you will see in the title, I kind of brushed up on it, but I didn't really go into too much detail. So here it is, and my girls are here. There's Arya over here, and Santa's over here. The surgery day, I woke up pretty early because they wanted me up to get ready for surgery at 9:30 in the morning. So I was up, I think 7 or something, and all I could have was drinks until 7. So yeah, no, I got up like 6:30 so then I can get some water into me before it was cutoff period, because after 7 there was no more water. So after that my husband came and we were sitting up talking, and then by the time that I was getting ready to go into surgery, well, but just before my husband came, I tried to put on the hospital gown, and it was actually really weird. It wasn't like one of those, you know, back clothes kind of thing where you tie up from the back. It was kind of like a Japanese fusion style where you had to figure out which part folds over first, then you tie that on, and then the other one you tied on the other side. And I didn't know there was 2 ties, so I had only one tied on one side, and it was really wrong. So the nurse had to help me with that because it was just complicated. And my husband was there. Then by the time they came in, they gave me an option. Did I want to walk there, be wheeled in a wheelchair, and did I want to be brought by my bed? And I chose to be wheeled there in a wheelchair because I thought it would be a little bit more like, okay, I don't need to be wheeled in my bed down the hall. So I was like, okay, just wheelchair's fine. And so they wheeled me in, and as we were going to the surgery floor, I was like, oh, getting really nervous. I was like, oh no, this is actually happening now. I'm going to freak out a little bit, but that's why I was like, wheel me there. I'm not gonna walk there because I'm gonna be like, yeah, no, I changed my mind. I don't want to do this anymore. And so when we got in, it wasn't a massive surgery room, but it was, the surgeons was kind of off to the side and the back, and there was this table that was in the shape of a person. So it had the arms and then the torso area going down with, I'm not sure if the legs were separated. I think they were. And so you were stretched out like a star. And so I had to get up onto that, which I was like, oh my god. This is so, because it's also small. It's not like, you know, a big size person kind of thing. It was like a normal size person. So I've never seen anything like that before in my life. Usually it's just a flat board, like straight. And yeah, it was just weird. So when I got on there, I already had my thing in my hand, the needle where they were going to inject the sleeping stuff. And so the nurse, thankfully, my anesthesiologist, she spoke English, and she's like, okay, so now I'm going to give you something that's going to help you fall asleep. And I'm like, you said that the last time, but not her. They said that the last time when I was getting my endoscopy, where they go down into your stomach to see if you have any polyps or anything wrong with your stomach. And I was fine after that, but I was awake the entire time, and thankfully I'm not squeamish. I actually liked looking at the video as it was going down and into my stomach. It was interesting for me. I should have been a doctor. So yeah, I was like, they said I would have slept, and I didn't. So I was kind of like, Anthony, really? I don't believe I'm going to fall asleep that easy. And then all of a sudden, like, I was looking around at the nurses, and they were looking at me, and one was rubbing my shoulder, and because I was like, I don't think it's going to work. And then I was out. And a weird thing is, first it was like black, and I just all of a sudden started dreaming. And I don't know why. I actually dreamt, like most people I've heard said they just blacked out and woke up. And that was very weird for me, because I thought, oh, that's what's gonna happen to me, and it didn't. So I was surprised. I don't remember what I dreamed. I started having some dreams, and then they woke me up, and I wasn't in bed or anything. I had to get back up myself, so they were kind of like, okay, swing your legs over kind of thing, and then help me to get up into the actual chair that I came into there from. So I was wheeled back and I was in and out kind of thing, and then I was put into the recovery room. And in the recovery room, my husband was there. He was waiting, so thankfully he was there. And apparently the only thing I could say was itai. Itai means hurts, painful. And so then they would give me some medicine, and then apparently I would fall asleep a lot. So eventually they brought me to my room after I recovered, and my husband stayed with me for another few hours, and then he obviously had to go home after a while because he couldn't stay. It was hospital policy because of the corona, and I was lucky enough to have someone there, because if not, I would have been a lot more scared. After that, I realized that nobody talks about this. They put a catheter into you, and I was terrified because I heard about it when I was researching it myself on some Facebook forums, and someone said they're going to put a catheter in you, and I'm like, oh my god, I do not want that. And I could feel it was there, and I was like, oh god, I hate this. This is not, I didn't want that in me, but yeah, I had to. And I fell asleep that night. I kept sleeping on and off, and I don't know how anyone could leave the same day, like in Mexico or in America. I do not know how, because I was gone, and I wanted to be able to get up, but it was just too painful to actually get up at that point, and I was still a little too drowsy because of it. So anyway, the next day, well, no, actually going back, when I did come out of it, I was really thirsty, and I thought they wouldn't let me, but I asked maybe I can just like put water in my mouth and spit it out, and he said no, you can drink. And I was, really? I can drink? And so I was terrified, so I took a really small sip, and it went down fine. I had no issue. Took another sip, fine. Another sip, fine. And then I just didn't want to push it, so I stopped then. And the next day when they started me on food, my liquid stage, they would give me miso soup, so that was kind of like my savory thing, a juice, jello, but it wasn't really jello, it was kind of like a jelly consistency where it was a little bit more, not as solid as a jello would be, more softer, and then a tea. So that's what I would get. And they said you should take a sip, wait 3 minutes, take a sip, wait 3 minutes. And when I took a sip, I was like, okay, I'm fine. Took another one, fine. Took another one, fine. And I would take just small sips, but my stomach was able to handle it, which is weird. When I felt like, okay, I should just stop and just wait a minute, I would wait. But it didn't really affect me so much. Like the liquids was fine. I could handle them perfectly well. I could drink kind of normally, except a little slower. And so it was like that for the next few days. I started to try and walk more on my second and third day. I didn't do it too much, I think maybe twice, other than after on my second day when my catheter was removed, I'd have to get up and use the bathroom. But I had to be there for 5 days, and if you've seen my previous videos, it was very expensive. So I didn't want to be there that long, but I think people should stay longer, because then they can watch you and see how you're doing. You don't want to be like at home wondering, oh my god, is something wrong with me? Is this normal? You should be able to be there, and then they can say, okay, answer your questions while you're there. And thankfully, a lot of the staff did speak English. I will put the surgery below, so you guys, if you want to go to that, if you're in Japan, the surgery itself, actually, we only paid $200 after my health insurance kicked in, and the city government, the one that I live in, also paid into it, because it's a necessary surgery that will help get your body weight down, which also promotes a healthier life. So they want people to get healthier, so they're not costing the government more money because you're fat and you're well, overweight, which causes cancers and all sorts of a plethora of things, including my fatty liver syndrome. I have sleep apnea, and I never would have known until I got tested for pre-approval for the surgery. So they really want to help. The most expensive part was the beds. So that's kind of like the hard part. I think there is smaller rooms, but I think maybe the only one that was available was the $630 one, which was expensive for 5 days. But if you are here in Japan and you have health insurance, you should definitely look into your local ward area. Since we're close to Tokyo, we went with that one, and it's the top #1 surgeon in Tokyo. And so yeah, after that, once I was able to walk a bit more, I was sent home, and I had to kind of, with my bed here with the gray, I had to kind of like get some blankets and stuff to try and prop myself up like into a sitting position or slightly elevated position, because my incision here, which is still hurting till today, like it just started hurting and acting up more the last few days, and I think it was because I've overdone it the last few days, like walking around, biking, going swimming to the beach. I overdid it, and of course, since it's a stitch on your muscle, it's gonna hurt. So yeah, I still have pain with that. After that, when I got home, I was able to drink pretty well, like no issues whatsoever. I started feeling hungry, which nobody tells you this, but it could have been just head hunger, but I still felt a little bit of a hunger after I finished what I had. I would only have jelly and a soup and what was the other thing? And a tea, something to drink. I didn't have all 4 type things, so I would have a little extra jelly because it would help me feel a little full. And that was stage 1. Stage 2 was the worst for me. So stage 2, it was soft foods, and I thought it would be better because it would be soft foods. But it was literally mainly tofu with like a little bit of like ponzu sauce and yogurt, I think. Yeah, yogurt and a few other really soft foods, and that was it. And yeah, like chawanmushi, which is like an egg pudding. Towards the end of my stage 2, I was like going crazy. I was like, I don't want to ever look at tofu again. And I did find tofu noodles, so I was able to enjoy that a little bit more than what I had before. So that was the worst stage for me. And then I went on to soft foods. So I'm still in that stage. Apparently it's going to last a while, but I'm eating almost normal, except it's mainly protein and sometimes with a little bit of vegetables on the side. But I for a while through stage 1 and 2 thought, what if they didn't take out as much as I thought that they did? Even though in the picture it looked like it like I asked for a picture of the stomach, what was going to be removed. I'm like, what if maybe they used a larger one and I feel hunger and my stomach can easily stretch out some more. So I was a little bit worried until I actually hit stage 3, when I was able to eat more softer, solid foods. And then I'd have a few bites and I'm like, okay, I'm done. And I'm still in this stage. Sadly, I also got into a stall, and it's not like a bad stall. A stall is where you're not losing any weight. And I am losing like a very little bit of weight, but not as much as I did the first few weeks. If you follow me on my Instagram, you can see my Wednesday weekly weigh-ins. And you'll see it's only about, this week was about a pound, 1.1 pounds, or 0.5 kilograms. And it'll show what I lost that week and what I lost in total from my highest weight to now. So it's about 50 pounds from today, kind of thing. Well, from yesterday, since yesterday was Wednesday. So yeah, I'm on that stage now. The only thing I feel is like a mourning of food. I feel mourning of being able to eat don't mind the cicadas out there. They come out every year, so that's Japanese summer for you. I'm mourning food because I'm unable to eat a normal portion. It's just a few bites and then I'm done, like done. So it's a little bit hard for me because when you had a binge eating disorder where even though I had it kind of under control, I would only eat like twice a day and I would have one. It wasn't the smallest portion, but for eating for two meals a day, my breakfast was pretty much like lunchtime and that would be a nice coffee, and maybe a slice or two of bread. That was it. When I woke up, I didn't eat very much. And because I'm a night owl and I don't have any reason really to get up early, so, which is a bad habit, but I can't help being a night owl. And then I would have dinner. So I would have like a plate of whatever, same thing my husband was eating, I'd have a plate of that. And that's it. It wasn't like I was eating 2 or 3 plates of food like a lot of people would think. But yeah, that's how I would eat. And now it's just like, oh, I'll make something, and sometimes whatever my husband is eating, I'll eat as well. So I'll just have a few bites of it and then I'm done. So I would aim for mainly the protein part and some vegetables to go with it. If he's having a salad, I'll just have a little bit of the salad with the protein, anything that I have. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you want to know any more about my surgery that I might have left out or you're curious about, please leave me questions in the comments below. I will answer them because, you know, I am a new channel, so I don't get too many comments right now. So I appreciate your questions and I will hope to see you there. I hope you liked this video. There'll be more soon to come. I will be doing my, I might do a video next week, maybe. I'm not sure because things are sporadic, so it depends on if I have the time to do a video, a sit-down video in the day. So it would probably be a 2-week video for my weigh-in, so you can see how much I lost in 2 weeks. And if not, it's going to be definitely at the month, so once a month kind of thing, until I am able to get a more stable shooting time for you guys. So sorry about that, and I hope to see you all very soon, and I hope you're having a great day. Let me know down in the comments how you're doing, and I'll see you then. Bye!